All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Patzel and I are here to talk to you about course selection for next year. Seventh and eighth graders. Seventh graders, you have a couple extra things you've got to do this year because of how we did the schedule. So, hello, Mrs. Patzel.
Hello, Mr. Pickock. Hello, everyone.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna narrate the presentation. This video will be up on the Canvas page, but so will the presentation in case your parents want to watch it or help you go through. I know Miss Patzel, you're gonna go to sixth grade classes at some point, right? Just kind of help them with their course selection, and now that's part of the AVID application process as well. So let's go ahead and start looking at our presentation. All right, so again, seventh graders, you did this on your own last year. Usually we do come talk to you. We're going to let you make these choices, but you'll actually be here either in the building or we can access you online. And so that'll be more independent. Whereas sixth graders, again, Ms. Patzel is going to come around, but also there's some things in here you've got to do. And we're going to go through them right now. So you're going to do all your course selections in Skyward. All right, so everybody has been going through there to check their grades. So it's skyward.msdwt.k12.in.us. Okay, that's the very first step of this. And then when you look, you'll see a homepage that looks like this. This is actually from a couple of years ago. We've been using the same one each year. And so you're going to circle, you're going to click on here on a schedule piece. And then you're going to see your current schedule. And so this is, like I said, from a couple of years ago, but it's the same every year. We teach this every year to everybody. You're not going to do anything here, but you're going to go over here and hit request courses for the 2021-22 West Lane Middle School. Ms. Patzel, anything to add right there? They need to know their Skyward, their login's the same. Everything should be good there.
Yes, and if there is, for some reason, somebody out there that does not know their Skyward login for some reason, I have those listed in my Skyward. So just get a hold of me, inbox message me or whatever through Canvas. Come find me. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, so Mrs. Patzel is doing all the seventh grade or sixth grade to seventh grade schedules, because actually look at every sixth grader. Look at me right here. This is your counselor next year. All right, so we're doing grade level counselors next year. So she's going to be seventh grade counselor next year. I'm doing Mrs. Boss is going to be all seventh grade, all eighth grade next year, but I'm going to be doing the course selection because she is worried about, like, she's working on the eighth grade course selection at this time. And so I helped set up this one. So, but again, eighth grade, seventh grade is going to eighth grade. We already know this. So we're geniuses at this already. All right. So after you request courses, you're going to be looking at something like this. Okay. Now, some of the course names could be different, but what you do is you click like on this little button right here in the blue or the white. And then once you see the button in the middle here, add course will kind of like say light up. Okay. So this button here will light up. Now you have to get to, and I'll minimize us here. You have to get to 16 total requests and 16 total credits. Some of you are going to start with 10. Some of you are going to start with 12. Some of you are going to start with 14. And some of you might have 16 by the time you even come in here. If you take classes with Mr. Netterval, Ms. Zarabinski, Miss Topless, and Ms. Malott, I've already rolled over those classes for next year. So you don't necessarily have to request too many classes. You might request one or two, but that would be it. So once
the right-hand side, if they're looking at their screen, guys, the right-hand side may already be filled with some courses like it is right now. Those are the required courses. Those you cannot change. You cannot opt out of those.
And you wouldn't be able to remove them anyway. And if you clicked on the button and hit remove course, it would not let you. So don't try. I mean, that's the thing. And you have to get to 16. The magic number is 16 on this. Okay. So that's because you take 8 classes per semester for a total of 16. All right. And so on this, the first step up, and this is the first step for anyone, is sixth graders. You're going to need to choose between French 1A and Spanish 1A. There's no Chinese anymore to select. For those of you that took Chinese already, we've already worked with you on your schedule, those seventh graders. We work with you on elective schedules for you. All seventh grade students, your 1A, or I think we called it intermediate Spanish this year. It's going to be named 1A, or if you took the 7-8 Spanish 1A, that progressed all to the 1B level. There's 100 and I think looked at 105 of you that are already in Spanish 1B, and I think 56 of you that are in French 1B. So those are automatically rolled over. We don't change those at all. If you are a 7th grader currently in a not in a language, okay, so you didn't take language as a 7th grader for whatever reason, you came late, or you were in intervention, but you're out of that intervention now, or just didn't show up on your schedule, you should choose Spanish 1A for the 2021-22 school year. Now, if you think you might be in intervention again next year, then we can always drop that Spanish, but we'd rather have it there and then not have to use it, and rather than the other way around. All right, so our music programs. On these, if you wish to be in the band or orchestra next year that you're currently in, you just select what's next, the next level. So most of you were in beginning band classes this year. And so for 6th graders, and so you would choose the intermediate course. And some of you were in the intermediate course, you will choose the advanced classes. Now, if you think you are going to apply or to audition for the advanced classes, you just work with your teacher and they tell us to switch that class later on, but choose what you're supposed to go into next. We don't roll you over in this. I know some schools do. We don't roll you over, but we do want you to choose to go into this class again. If you want to take, again, so if you've been beginning choir, beginning orchestra, beginning band, you can go to the next level. And then choir, you can also choose one of the choirs as well. And we recorded videos for each of you to watch about the music classes here at Westlane. If you've never taken a music class, so let's just say you're a 6th grader who came in late, or you're a 7th grader who's like, I would like to try to learn an instrument, you may choose the beginning band or beginning orchestra. Just select that class. You will have to rent an instrument, but it's I think we also have instruments for you to use as well. So super excited about that. So if you select jazz band, bluettes, or Westlane Pops Orchestra, you will need to talk with your current band, choir, or orchestra teacher. And if you're already in that class, we'll let you be in that class again. Not a problem. But we will say that you should have talked to them, because these are the specialty. What do you call you try out for these courses, right, Mrs. Patzel?
Yes, absolutely. And I believe I've spoken with Ms. Martin, and I think the tryouts for the choir will happen in May, and she was pretty confident that that's when also the band and the orchestra will also be happening, is sometime in the first part of May.
Outstanding. All right, now let's talk about our AVID program. And so several of you have applied for the AVID program. So all 7th grade AVID placements, Mrs. Patzel, why don't you talk about how that's going to be done?
Yes, absolutely. So the applications have all come in at this point, and so we are getting ready to invite those of you who have applied into our virtual interview space. Those will be happening right before spring break. Selections then will take place following spring break. We will be asking of you at some point, you will go ahead and select, those of you that have applied for AVID will actually select an elective from the choices that you will be hearing about. And once we know who in fact will be invited to participate in that AVID elective, I will then come find you, and we will remove together the elective that AVID will now replace.
Yeah, so you will not see AVID 7 on your possible classes to select, okay? Now, AVID 8, if you were an AVID 7, we rolled over for AVID 8. And right now, and I looked at numbers too, and I actually know I did, there's right now no room for any AVID 8 students for next year, okay? So that's something that, and that also goes for AVID Excel as well. AVID Excel 7 was rolled over to AVID Excel 8, and we just treat that as like those are AVID classes. Okay, so the reason I just said AVID 7 rolled over from AVID 8, AVID 8 was rolled over from AVID 7. That means the Excel courses and the AVID 7 courses, which are all AVID. And ultimately, by the time you're a freshman, that's going to be just an AVID, straight up AVID class.
Absolutely.
And so now, if we have any move outs, again, we'll reach out in the fall, in August, in case there is someone, like let's just say 4 or 5 kids moved out of our AVID program by just moving out of school. We could then open up and say, hey, if you really want to be in it, because I think we did this last year. We interviewed a few kids after school started, and we put them in.
Sure did.
So just be watching for that next school year when you come in. All right, semester electives, and I do want to report that I would encourage all of you to watch the videos that go along with this. We're going to talk a bit about them, but there are the teachers of these courses actually talk about them in the videos that are accompanying on the module here in Canvas. All right, so first off, we talk about semester courses. Let me move us out of here. Okay, so there is art, advanced art, and theater. And these are, again, only for 7th and 8th graders. The advanced art and theater are limited. There's only like 2 sections each of those. So there's only room for like about 120 students max on that. And it could be a little bit less for theater. And then there's also Project Lead the Way. And so Project Lead the Way is a focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we'd like to say you need to have a math NWA percentile of 40% or higher. We can be flexible on that, but just make sure that you have an idea of what you're doing in math to be able to take those courses, or you really like the engineering piece. Computer sciences for innovators and makers. This is called CSIM. This is by Mr. King. Students will learn how to program, and then they also want to develop a code for microcontrollers and be able to move them around and develop a computing device. So that's a first semester course. And then we have second semester's app creators, and Mr. King is very confident that we can actually get an app creator to put out on the Google Play Store, to be able to create an app. So this is where you will, again, make an app, and they really would like you to take CSIM. And if you took CSIM this year and then didn't take app creators, that's fine. You can still take app creators next year. Also, too, if you took Project Lead the Way at all at these 2 years and you are majority virtual, if you want to take it again, 7th graders, and we have the space, we'll let you in. So 7th graders going to 8th, we'll let you take it again, because I know there was a lot of stuff these are the most hands-on courses, and I know that you miss a lot of hands-on activities for these. So I have zero issue with you taking them again if we have the space. So we'll work with you around getting these courses again. Just know that Mr. King and Mr. Doss also teach a 6th grade course that everybody has to take. So 6th graders, you knew this. So if you want to take these courses, you can. But if there's a numbers issue, we'll look at waiting lists and things like that. But we'll try to get you in to these courses if you want them. And I'm okay with retaking for 7th graders going to 8th, because I know that you missed quite a bit of the hands-on piece for these courses. So Mr. Doss's side, we are design and modeling. You're going to learn to develop the process, how to create things. This is a first semester class, and it leads into robotics. So we have the VEX robotics program, and you get to tell it what to do and make tool boosts and all that kind of cool stuff. You get to tell everything what to do. Again, with all Project Lead the Way courses, you can retake them again, and it's not an issue. Unless there's numbers issue, then we might work around that. But we let you all 8th graders this year. We let the 8th graders this year retake the course from last year, and that worked out really well. So we're not too concerned about it. All right, so high school classes. We've got some high school elective classes. So when you go to high school, and Ms. Patzel, we talk about like getting credits. We're not getting science and social studies credits. What are we getting when we go to the high school when we have these classes?
This is called elective credit. And so what that means is you can elect to use that credit towards the total number of credits that you need to graduate at the end of your high school experience. Some students may end up finding out that you may not even necessarily need that credit, but it's good advanced information to assist you with courses that you will be taking for required credit when you get into the high school.
So we have suggestions for this. You should have about a 2.0 GPA or higher. You should be in the 40th percentile in NWA reading, and you should have a C or better in your science or social studies classes. That's a suggestion. Again, if you're really fired up about something and it's not quite there, we can certainly look at that. But we really want to say you should have these, these 3 things before you take this class. That just shows that you can have more success in it.
Mr.
First off,
Oh,
Oh,
can
go
I,
ahead.
can I add something, Mr. Pitcock?
Yes.
A lot of students get really fired up about taking all of these classes all at the same time. And unfortunately, these classes tend to be a one period class, which means
Yeah.
they happen one time a day or one time within the rotation of classes. So you may end up not getting all of the choices for the 1 year that you request them. So be thinking about maybe if I'm a sixth grader going into seventh grade, maybe I'll request 2 of them for next year, and then the following year I may take the other 2. So just understand that these are the hardest to get into your schedule because of the fact that they are one-timer classes.
Yeah, we could try. Like I could try to take them all, but and again too, this is one of those classes that if Mrs. Patzel, Mrs. Bostic, or myself or Ms. Barber had to make the decision, do I take language and literature or do I take a high school class because it's only 2 fit? We're gonna have you take the language and literature. Now we may put you in a different high school class, but I would think you could take all 5 of them that we offer throughout the course of 2 years. And that's not a problem. But you may not be able to take them all at once because they do happen, like Ms. Patel said, one time in your 8-period day. And if your class isn't scheduled because it's an elective, we'll put you in another elective. So we've got intro to social studies and current events. And you can watch the video on that. And then we have social justice. Now, this is a course that's been driven essentially by you students. We started out with only going to offer this for 1 semester for each person, but we now have 2 sections of this because it's been such a popular class. And so we do have this is one we have 120 slots in. Again, though, it happens twice a day. So if your schedule doesn't work out for the first semester, it could maybe the second semester, or it could your 8th grade year, or it could your 7th grade year. So however you took it. So this is like this social justice class in the social studies curriculum. We
Mr.
also have 2.
Can social justice be taken again? Like if I took it as a 7th grader, am I allowed to sign up for it again as an 8th grader?
I would think for the courses I would say you could take twice, social justice and current events, because those classes change so much. Now it's certain, like I can certainly say that current events will never be as exciting as it was this year, because I think they had an election and everything that went around with that. And then coming out into a new, into like that class changes like day to day. But yes, I would say you could take current events again because that class will be completely different. Social justice is always evolving. I know that what we started out with and what we have come to with now is completely different. Now we would say if you want to take it twice, you can, but we really would open it up first to people who have never taken it. And if we have availability for you to take it, we'll certainly let you take it again. Now, the intro to social studies, life science, and environmental studies in the science realm, those courses pretty much stay the same throughout the year. And they not a lot of changing in cells and biomes and then the 4 disciplines of social studies. But certainly the current events and then the also social justice classes, those change quite a bit. There's a million things to talk about new every time. So you could if you want to sign up for that class again, you're more than welcome to. But the other 3, I would think you might not want to take for a second time. All right, so now, this is a very important, folks. So let's just say a class is full and we need to have you select alternates. So this is how you do that. You must select at least 2 alternate classes, and this is how you do it. We're going to go back to our selection piece here. So you're going to be immediately into requesting courses whenever you get done and you get to the 16 number. You're going to click on requesting alternates. And then once you request on alternates, you will you will click here again, add the course, and it will be given to us as an alternate. So what we do then is this. If we see a class is full or we see a class doesn't fit in your schedule, we look at your alternate request and then we put that class in its place. So we know that you've made that choice to select an alternate. Now, most of the time, we're able to get you in the right class, and the class you select, we've had very good luck with that the last 7 or 8 years. However, we do have the alternate just in case, so you can go ahead and select that just in case something else doesn't work out. So that's kind of the main issue there. But you just want to select 2 of them, and they need to be alternate. Don't select a language really. Don't really go in and select, like if you selected Spanish, you want to select French. Don't do that. Do the semester classes. So you want to have these ones that say 1 credit. So if you look at any class here, so if I selected Spanish 1A and I said S1, Spanish 1A semester 2 will go along with it. So those 2 will go in there. But if you select the one, like just a straight up, if there's no semester code after this is a 1 semester class and it's elective. So you want to get 2 of those moved over.
And students, remember, even though you may be seeing on that alternate course list, remember this is from 2017, 2018.
They're going to look
Communication
different.
7A and beginning Chinese, those are not going to be on your list. They are
Yeah,
not.
they're going to look very different. And one thing I will say too, this is not your schedule. Okay, you will get your actual schedule and on like July 28th this next coming year. We don't start school until August 3rd. And then the teachers come in August 1st. And so then that Thursday right before that is like count backwards. Be like the 28th. Yes, I think I was right. 28th or 29th is when you will actually get your actual schedule. Okay, so don't think this is in a row, because these actually are all sorted by course codes, and we can have everybody having the same class the whole way through. You will also notice too, if you were already in honors, you were placed in the honors class right above this. 6th graders know that we're still going through your applications for that, and that'll change. But also too, we have room in both social studies 8X, in science 8X, and in English 8X for some spaces for students. So if you're interested in this, go ahead and talk to your current teacher about interest in being in that honors class for next year. Academic interventions, we have Read 180 and math intervention. That gets put on a later date. If you're currently in there and your teacher thinks you should be in there again, we will put you in there again. If you're not currently in there, but the data suggests that you should be in there, then you will be in there. Everybody right now was put into, I wonder if I said it here. Hold up, I'll go back one. Everybody right now is put into what we call Power Up Reading. Okay, that's a placeholder course. Some of you will be taking Power Up Writing when we come in second semester, when we come in next year. I just want to make sure that it's there as a placeholder. And if they want to do 2 musics, you can do 2 musics. Remember, we talked about that. If you watch the video with Ms. Martin and Mr. Nickerson and I and Ms. May, we'll talk about you can take 2 musics if you want to. That's fine by us. So, absolutely. Now, and don't ask us to drop classes though. We won't. Like if you say, "Hey, I want to drop this, and this, take that." No, I don't want to take language. You're taking a language because it's fun to take. It's fun to learn things. You got great teachers over there teaching that. So, go through these courses and select them. And then again, to some of the courses we will put in for you. And that's just always the case. And then if we don't have you selected, let's say I would say if you don't have your course selected by May 1, we'll close it off and then we'll come and we'll hunt you down either electronically or in person. And we'll kind of finalize your schedule for next year just to make sure that you're done. And like 6th graders going into 7th grade too, please know this. I'm talking just directly to you right now. It like when you select courses, when you're selecting French and Spanish, and if French fills up, because we have 58 French slots, then we will ask you if you want to be in Spanish. And if not, then we have to kind of run a lottery to see who can be in the French class. We've had to do that for many years, usually at the 6th grade level, but now it's just a different time. And so we may have to do that. There's enough Spanish for everybody, but there's not enough French for everyone to be able to select it. So that's kind of the bad news, I guess, of this. But we're lucky to have a great world language teacher, but there's only one of Mr. Andre. That's the deal. We can clone him. If we figure out in the science classes how to clone him, then we're on our way. But until then, there's only about 58 slots you can take for that French class. So again, if you have any questions to all this, again, I encourage you to watch the videos and watch this video again. Talk to your parents. Please talk to your parents, especially if you're trying to make a music choice. If you're not currently in music and you want to be in band, it's gonna be a big shock for your parents to, when you come home with a tuba on the first day of school next year.
And a bill to attach to it.
Yeah, and a trombone and the bill and the noise and the yeah, make sure you talk to your parents first before you do select that. We don't have a problem with it. I just make sure that you you communicate with that with your parents and things like that. But you know, we're gonna hopefully go into a school year that's going to be very back to at least you know, when I say traditional 5 days, you're here, we're running our regular schedule that we like to run. You have your classes 3 times a week. So I think it's gonna be a fun year next year, but I think we'll make sure we select it and set up for a good year so we can set up for a good schedule. So anything else, Mrs. Patchell? Did I forget anything about course selection?
I don't believe so. I think, like you said, making sure that they follow up with those videos to find out what those electives are first. But 6th graders moving into 7th grade, I will be seeing you individually in the next coming weeks to talk about that schedule, to go over things with you so that we make sure that you have put everything in correctly, because I know it is new for you.
And the cool thing is, I just remember this, when you start moving your classes around and selecting them, there's no submit button. Skyward automatically saves it, and you don't have to do anything for that. Skyward Mr. Pickhock and Skyward don't always get along when he's scheduling, but when this one, it's actually pretty easy. You don't have to make any massive changes for that. You just have to, when you click it over, it's saved. You can't go in above 8. You won't be able to go above 18 because it'll stop you. So if you see that 16 light up, you either have to remove a class that you put on there to do that, or you're just done. Okay. And then some of you will be done sooner rather than later. And some of you will be done before you even click in there. You're just going to look at your classes and say, I'm done. That's okay. But yeah, all of you have a PE course put on there. And all of you, again, like I said, had the placeholder of power up reading on there, and that could change to writing by the beginning of next year.
Mr. Pitcock, when does this go live into Skyward for them to begin the changes?
You should be able to start next week. I know Mrs. Patchell's going over to 6th grade next week, but she will also she's going over to 5th grade too next week. And I'm going to try to zoom in on their classes as well to welcome in our future 6th graders. But yeah, so next, this will go live, I would think Monday, and I'll tell them, we'll talk about announcements. It'll go live, or I might even access we might do a slow roll sneak preview later this week, but everything's ready to go. And we've rolled over as many classes as possible. So this is actually going to be an easier process than most years. So
awesome.
All right. Thanks everybody.
Yes.
Happy selecting.
Yes. Bye.